Hello everyone. How's it going? So today I'm going to be covering the Exchange22 investing series between Sri Lanka and Australia. This is going to be a super interesting one. And keep in mind that yes, there is going to be a lot of money for you to make, but you have to be precautious. You have to ensure that you're investing in the right places. So we start with this one. Obviously, that the longer the duration of your investment of your money, obviously that makes your investment safer, and that's why I like this format, because your money is not only on one match but quite a few matches and a few players. So let's look at it and how the whole point breakup is before I get to which players we can invest in. So I think that the number of runs and the number of wickets is your important part more than the amount of points, because these are your key metrics for every player. Per wicket is only 20 points. Keep that in mind. It's not an ODI, so it's not 25 points per wicket. And the per run is obviously 1 run. There's a 50 bonus of 7 points, and apart from that there is boundary bonus of 1 point, 6 bonus of 2 points, so quite a few bonuses. But there is an extra platform fee of 6%. So if Glenn Maxwell is going to cost you about, currently I think he's costing you about 175, you have to keep in mind that 175 is also going to cost you an additional 10 rupees over and above that. So it's not a flat 125 rupees, 175 rupees. So just keep that in mind. So how do you make a profit from such a format? I think this first question will answer most of your queries, because at the end of the day, if you see most of this pricing 175, now at 175 what am I expecting out of Maxwell? Am I expecting 350s? Obviously no, that's very difficult. Am I expecting maybe 340s and 2 wickets? Maybe that is also a decent expectation, but totally depends on how he's used as a bowler, because Australia has quite a few bowlers. So you see that even in the best case scenario of these guys doing like the best possible things that they can, they will mostly only return your money back to you. But when they get you a man of the match is when your money will get over that average point. So this pricing has been done very smartly. Same way if you see for Josh Hazelwood, 125. Now at 125, what am I saying? Am I saying that Josh Hazelwood is going to consistently take 2 wickets every match for 3 matches? That is obviously a big ask to have of a player. So it is not that easy for you to make money as it seems. But yes, if you feel like that player is a man of the match candidate, that is when you get your money's worth. So for people who don't understand it in English, I'm just trying to say कि जिस बंदे को आपको लगता है कि वो मैन ऑफ द मैच वाली परफॉर्मेंस कर पाएगा, उनको ही आप कोशिश करके ख़रीदेगा, बिकॉज इनकी जो प्राइसिंग है उस प्राइसिंग पर अगर इन प्लेयर्स ने अपने एवरेज जो परफॉर्मेंस है जो वो जनरली करते हैं उतना वो कर भी पाए पूरी तरीके से, या उससे थोड़ा बेटर भी कर पाए, तो भी सिर्फ आपका पैसा बस रिटर्न होगा, आपको वो पैसे पर प्रॉफिट आने की शंका थोड़ी कम हो जाएगी. सो दिस इज़ व्हाट माय थॉट प्रोसेस इज़. यही मेरी रणनीति है इस टोटल इन्वेस्टिंग सीरीज़ के लिए, कि मैं ऐसे प्लेयर्स को ढूंढ पाऊँ फॉर मी टू बी एबल टू फाइंड सच प्लेयर्स हु कैन गेट मैन ऑफ द मैचेस. सो लेट्स लुक एट इट. Now, one key thing for you to remember before you start this investing series is decide how many shares you want to buy per player. So I've decided I'm going to buy 10 players, 10 shares per player for my safer choices, and about 5 to 6 shares for my riskier choices. So keep that in mind and ensure that you have one figure. ऐसा नहीं कि आप मैक्सवेल का 10 खरीद रहे हो फिर वार्नर का 15 खरीद रहे हो. That is not the right strategy, because there are only 3 matches, which means there will be only 3 man of the matches awarded out. So ensure that you're buying equal amount of players unless there's some massive exception. So first player that I'm going to buy, Glenn Maxwell. Obviously he is one of the safer choices. He's one of the best choices that you have here. So I think it becomes quite obvious that he is really good, because he is going to get you runs, he's going to get you wickets, and he's going to get you a lot of catches also. So I think he's a pretty safe choice. We can expect one man of the match performance out of him, and obviously if he gets you man of the match, अगर वो बंदा man of the match लाएगा, ये एक कैच से तो लाएगा नहीं, 50-60 पॉइंट की परफॉर्मेंस करेगा, and उसके साथ साथ 100 points for man of the match. He will get you 50-60 points, along with that another 100 points. So I think he's an excellent choice, and Hasaranga fits in the same bracket. So I'm going to buy 10 shares each of both of them. I have slight doubt over Maxwell because he's coming back to Sri Lankan conditions after a while. Last time he played in 2016, he got 100 and a 50 in the 2 T20s. So obviously that's a good record. And in terms of expectation and opportunity, he will get a lot of it. So in most scenarios, maybe even in the worst sort of series that he has, he'll at least get you 90 to 100 points. It's not like it's all a drain for you. So I think those are my first two choices. Warner is a good choice, but I feel he's very overpriced. 175 means you're expecting 40 to 45 runs per match, or you're expecting one really big knock, which means he will get the man of the match, because nowadays 20s, 30s, 40s in most scenarios don't get you man of the matches, because bowlers are also contributing as equally, and he's going to come up against Theekshana, which is not going to make his job easier in any way. Similarly, Mitchell Marsh is going to come up against Hasaranga. वो खेलेंगे Theekshana और Hasaranga के सामने. So do I have the confidence on consistency? Maybe not. Very possible that both of these players play one big knock, get man of the matches. But even in that scenario, if they go on and hit only 10, 20 in the other two games, then it makes obviously you will get some sort of profit, but is it exponential? Maybe not. So yeah, if you're ready to take the risk, you can. Similarly, Nissanka खेलेंगे Stark के सामने. He will come up against Stark, he will come up against Hazelwood, so it will not be an easy task. Shanaka also will be batting at the death. It's not going to be easy to perform game after game. Now this is, I think, my most interesting conundrum, Josh Hazelwood. Now Josh Hazelwood at 125 पर उनको कोट किया जा रहा है. Means, am I expecting him to take 20 points, which is 1 wicket? Even if he gets 40 points, that is 2 wickets per game, he's going to get you 120 points, and in 3 matches he's getting you 6 wickets. That is also, I'm saying, a little bit more. Generally 4 or 5 is what a bowler will get. So it makes it slightly tricky, because we know that Australia does not use him as much at the death as their IPL or club teams use him, which means that even though he might bowl amazingly well, he might get away with maybe just a wicket or so in a few games. Obviously, he's an amazing choice. Obviously, I feel like 80 to 90 to 100 points he's going to get easily, but will he get 125? It totally depends on if that man of the match performance comes or no. So for now, I'm going with 5 shares for him, as I'm not as sure as some of the other choices. Ashton Agar, I feel, is a decent choice. He'll bat, maybe get you 30-40 points with the bat, but then again, he's a spinner. Sri Lanka plays spin decently well unless they throw their wickets to him, so I'm not too sure about that. Steve Smith going to bat 3 down. I don't see that to be a fit number for Steve Smith. Maybe I will later on go and buy just 2-3 shares of him. Maybe if there's a collapse, he can come and play a decent knock here and there, maybe not. Josh Inglis going to come up against a strong amount of spin, and unless you see him as man of the match candidate, I don't see you buying him. Aaron Finch, now most of you are going to say no to Aaron Finch as well, as you feel like he's been in really bad touch XYZ, but just keep in mind, this man is going to open the batting. He's the captain of this team. He fields and slips. Obviously these seem like totally invalid or stupid points, but keep in mind that when you're opening the batting in most scenarios, and remember he has an average about 30-34, which means that if he gets you even 150 plus knock, that is 60-65 odd points right there. Can he not come in and score 20 odd in the other 2 games, take an odd catch here and there? Surely he can, and we know that Finch has the ability to stick in, and if he plays one big knock, gets you 1 man of the match, or gets even 160-70, I think that is your game done there. But still, he's a risky pick based on form, so I'm going with just 5 shares of him. Then you have Mitchell Stark. I think Mitchell Stark is priced slightly more decently, even though he's out of touch with the ball. He's been in pathetic form, especially in that last series, but I still think that he is worth the punt, especially because he's going to bowl at the death, he's going to bowl at the start, and Sri Lanka will have a certain set of troubles against him. So maybe even if he comes in and runs up their team again even once, I think that will cause some trouble. So I think he's worth 6 shares. and I'm going to go with 6 shares for Mitchell Stark. Thikshana is an amazing choice, but keep in mind that he averages exactly his strike rate in T20s with the ball is 24. He has played 15 T20s, got 14 wickets, which means he's bowling very economically. Amazing bowler. He bowls 3 overs in the power play. So if he runs through and gets a lot of wickets, that is one scenario. But is he bowling at times which speak for wicket taking opportunities? Maybe not, and that makes it slightly difficult, because even if you assume the man takes two wickets and maybe 1 wicket, that will also still just with great difficulty get your investment back, because you don't see too many players for economy get man of the matches unless it's a raging turner and he runs through Australian top order. That's a different story. So yeah, maybe based on the toss and the pitch condition of the first match, maybe you can buy a few shares of him. Chamira, Patirana, again okay choices, but looking at the points that I'm getting for bowlers per wicket, they don't become exponential. And then we look at this player Charit Asalanka, who's played so well for them. He has 350s in about 15-16 T20 games, which means that he's made full use of all his opportunities that he's got, and hence I think he's an amazing choice, because even if he gets you 20-30 in every game, he's still going to come back close in and at least get you most of what you invested. So I think he's a good choice and he's worth about 10 shares for me. And finally we have our last player, Jai Richardson. If he would have played at 90, he's an amazing choice, but Kane Richardson has already been announced in the squad for the first game, so obviously that makes no sense buying Jai, because he's mostly not going to play all of the games, maybe a game here and there. But the man I'm going to buy is Chamika Karunaratne at 80. He bowls about 2 to 3 overs in every game that he plays for Sri Lanka, mostly 2 overs, and he averages about 16-20. Now, while these numbers don't sound great to the year, at 80 it's sort of a steal, because at 80 rupees, even if he's getting you a wicket every game, or if he's getting you 2 wickets in 3 games and scoring about 15-20 runs on an average, your cost is still covered, and one outstanding performance is all that he's away from giving you an exponential return. So I think he's the amazing choice. And apart from that, you know all my choices, you know why I've not picked certain players, why I have picked certain players. So you too go make your choices now on the Exchange22 app, and I'm attaching the link in the description below. All the best.